Okay, so instead of writing a blog post this week, I decided to make a video because I didn't really feel like sitting and writing out a whole bunch of stuff. With the end of last year, 2015, and the start of a new year, I wanted to go over some of my goals and priorities and other projects, all the big projects that I wanted to do last year, and just share those with you and let you know how they went. And so this was my board. Let's see, this is all sideways. Okay, I'll just do a nice pan, and it's hard to see, but right here it's been in the sun and it's all faded and stuff. But this is my board of reminders and priorities for 2015. Okay, so I'm gonna actually just take these off as I go. And you don't need to know my secret passwords and stuff for some of them. Alright, so first up, we'll remove, no we won't. Okay, first up was Anchovy Knits, my Etsy shop that's been open since 2009 or something like that. And it's just been sitting there for a while and really needed a little bit of, well, a lot of love and some re-imaging and such. So let's see, I said, and also Etsy made some changes, like they have, you can enter bios about the shop owner. If you have other people working for you, you can type stuff about them. And then you can add a few pictures about the studio just to show your workspace and all that. So I think what I had done, I made a banner. Like I actually made one. I have right here. It's kind of, oh no, it's kind of coming apart. I have a cereal box that I glued together, and then I knitted this strip because I thought it'd be cool to have the dimensional look with the actual stitches, and then I stuck little papers on, and so they look like they got a bit of shadow behind them in the actual image on the shop. So it looks pretty cool, and I'm pretty happy with how the shop's looking these days. I've got, I think I put my own photo on there for me, and then the little anchovy looks similar to this guy. He's there to represent the as branding for the store. And I added some new things, I knitted some new things, and I added them. I'm really behind already, but I can deal with that this year. So I'm hoping for this year for the Anchovy Knits to actually update it every now and then with new things, because adding new things gets views. This was the worst holiday season I've had for my Etsy shop. I don't think I sold anything to a stranger. I had a couple friends buy some things, and I really appreciate that. But usually I just get like a random person who comes along and buys a thing, and I get like, I don't know, like last year might have been like 3 or something, and every year it's a little worse and a little worse. So I'm gonna leave it there for now, but I'm kind of thinking that someday I might end up combining all of these things, both of my shops, and maybe just selling on my website, which I will get into in just a little bit. Alright, next up. Take this one out. Next up was the Crafty Adventurer Etsy shop number 2, which didn't exist this time last year, and now it does, and it's my second Etsy shop. And I put all my things that had been piling up that were not knitting related, and so they can go in this other shop. And so everything on there I put together this year or last year, and it's a functional shop. It's got 50 items or so. I haven't gotten any strangers buying anything again. And Etsy is so hard to do these days. They have made so many changes, and it's so big that you get lost if you're not like on there all the time and participating in all the forums and doing all of the things that I don't really care to do. I don't have time. I honestly would rather be making things. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm just going to leave it there. I'll figure out what I want to do later, but in the meantime, friends want to buy stuff from me, they can find me. If other people I've handed cards to are interested, I'll be there. I've got my stuff, and it's there, and it's the work that I did, and I'm super proud of it. Alright, the next little card looks like a bulleted list on this green card. And the first one says, post often on Tumblr and consider the fate of Tumblr. So last year about this time, I'm like, I don't think Tumblr's gonna make it. But then it kind of stuck around and seems to actually be fairly popular. So it's still there, and I've been posting often on Tumblr as I was hoping to do, but mostly lately I also started an Instagram account, and so all the pictures I put there I can post on the Tumblr like all in one go, and that's really awesome because it feels like I'm actually doing more. I can show that I'm doing more work that way, or just see some weird funny picture or some plants that I see, and then I've also been posting whenever I do my blog posts on my website. I'll post that on there, so maybe, I don't know if it leads to more traffic to my actual site, but people actually will see it, and a couple times, not often, strangers have actually read my words and liked it, and I think that's pretty awesome. And I do really, really appreciate all friends and family who read and look at the pictures and such. Alright, so next on this, so I guess that had a little box I was supposed to check off, but I didn't. But I did do the thing, I swear. You can go to my Tumblr account, craftadventurestudio.tumblr.com, and see for yourself. And then the second thing, purchase a domain name or two, create a website for my work. And you know what, guys? I did that. I purchased one domain name because two would have cost a lot more money. And I created a website using a template through wix.com, and right now I'm pretty happy with it. I haven't worked on it for several months now, but I've been trying to do a weekly blog post on the blog, and there's a link for that at the bottom of craftadventurestudio.com. For a while I was trying to keep projects updated. There's a gallery of pictures on the homepage, and some of those have links. If you click on them, they'll open up a project page, and I was typing up my progress on these bigger projects. But since I had so much going on, I kind of dropped the ball on that after a while, and that's okay because I'm gonna work on that this year, off and on. Let's see, the next one, edit my novel, finish a draft, and share with select others. I did not finish a draft because that's ridiculous, but I did edit it. I went through, and this is my novel I wrote in 2013, and it was the one I did for NaNoWriMo in November that year. I think I wrote another scene, and I've read through it all, cut out a bunch of stuff, and looked for typos and errors and things that weren't really necessary. And then I'd started going through and adding stuff, but again, I did so much last year, I did not get to it, but I did actually work on it, and I feel good about that, because as long as you just keep working on it, someday it will probably maybe get finished. And I think I even came up with a working title I don't know what it is. I'm gonna find out right now. Oh, look at this. See? There it is. Look at all that paper in there. I've typed all these words. Looks like I wrote down all the characters. I wrote out notes of things that I wanted to do. And let's see. The working title is right now Light and Entity. And you can see all the red marks and stuff. See? So I clearly did some work. Ha. Alright. Where's my list? Okay. And then the last thing, which I completely did not do, is the No Excuses art journaling. There was a book I bought, and it was obviously about art journaling, and I started out, I got like a month and a half maybe into it, but it wasn't really holding my interest at all. I got really tired of just like recording the weather and coming up with a pattern every day, and it was a little too fiddly for me and a little too regimented. So I decided, like, if I'm not doing this, as long as I'm doing something, then that is awesome and I won't feel bad about it at all. In fact, I have no idea where the art journal, it was a little super cheap by Mart planner that I bought, and I was going to use it for something else, but I have no idea where it is right now. I know I put the book away in storage because I went through a lot of my knitting books especially to just put away in storage, and I don't know if I put it in there with that book because I know the book went with everything else. Let's see. So that's all on that green card. Next is this purple one. Let's see. It's purple. I don't know if it'll actually show up purple because of my camera. Okay, the first part says get fitter, get healthier mentally and physically. And you know what, guys? I lost like 7 pounds in December. It was probably stress and health related, but I lost 7 pounds, and I started taking yoga in June, and I've been keeping that up. Like, it was through the Parks and Rec, and I signed up for the summer term, but then I signed up for fall, and I did fall, and then I signed up for the little short session between Thanksgiving and the winter break. So there's like 3 things, and I did that, and I am currently into the winter term right now and keeping it up, and it's been helping me get healthier mentally and physically. There are muscles on my bones underneath my skin, and I can tell, like, if I have to bend down and tie my shoe, it's like no problem, and I am definitely moving better, and it's not like super strenuous either, otherwise I'd be like bleh. And I always feel a lot better afterwards, even on the days where I really, like, I'm not really well, fighting a cold or something. I don't feel, it's definitely harder on those days, but I do feel even a little bit better every time. So I'm going to keep that up for a while. Alright, the next part on here, share my work with others through Tumblr, Facebook, Etsy, and my website, and YouTube. I have not really done it on YouTube, but Tumblr, Facebook, and then Etsy, I think I mean that I add new things to my Etsy store. And then my website, I've been doing my blog posts. I'm doing pretty good, considering, like, I wanted to do it every week. I have not done it every week, but I do at least get a couple posts in a month, and December was so intense. And January, I am definitely dealing with fallout from December because it was so hard. And for good reasons and for bad reasons. It was a nice emotional roller coaster of a month. And it was, you know, Christmas, the usual. But on top of that, there were a lot of other things. And so that's what I wanted to do, was share my work. And on top of the website, the 2 Etsy stores, and then posting on Tumblr, I also started a Facebook page for Craft Adventure Studio. So if you're on Facebook, you can follow my website stuff on there. I haven't really done much with it, mostly just what I do with Tumblr, and I post a link whenever I have a blog post done. But I mean, maybe this year I'll come up with something. I just kind of wanted to have it there set up for whatever I decide to use it for. And then I also signed up for Twitter, so I had to go with @AnchovyKnits as my handle on there. So that's also linked up to my Instagram. And then I think I've been posting links to my blog posts on there. And then I obviously signed up with Instagram, which is kind of awesome. I got really hooked on the Instagram. It's pretty fun. I really like that you can just take a picture with your phone, because I got a smartphone last year, and so I'm trying the thing, and the first picture I took is like, this is the most amazing thing, because you just push a couple things and it posts to your Facebook and your Tumblr and your Twitter, and then on top of that on your Instagram, and people I don't know see my pictures and like it, and I feel like people like me, I guess, or they like my pictures anyway, and that's cool, because that way I can also show what I'm working on, and maybe other people can get excited and want to try stuff too, or they just like the pretty pictures, because yeah, I try to take kind of pretty pictures, and I like using the filters because they're fun, and you just have to poke at them, and it makes your picture look really cool. Okay, and then YouTube, I haven't really done that yet. Oh, okay, so other stuff. And I also did the Patreon, so I have a Patreon page, and right now a friend and family members are my patrons, and I really, 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 really appreciate you guys that you are excited to see my stuff that I do. And maybe this year I'll get more people. It was kind of depressing when I was setting it up and reading all the literature they have posted. They said, like, most Patreon people, they find a whole 50% increase in patrons in the first year, and I'm at 3 right now, so 1.5 added to that and I'll be at my first goal. But I really do appreciate you guys, and if anyone else is interested in all and checking that out, I'll probably end up doing a little tweaking sometime this year when I have some better ideas of what I'm doing. What's the address? It is, I don't remember if it's Patreon, patreon.com/Craft Adventure Studio. Yeah, I think that's it. That's it. Okay. So I signed up for that. What else did I do? Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Patreon, new website, new Etsy store, editing my other Etsy store. I think Craft Adventure Studio, and not like Amy Decker 4244689, which is kind of stupid. So Craft Adventure Studio, that's my channel that I'm gonna use. Okay, next, the last thing on this card, see where all these things take me, trust the process, any achievement will put me in a better place. And you know what, guys? I did awesome last year. I did so awesome, and I am so proud of myself, because I felt like garbage for so long. and I'm doing so much better. And I definitely still have problems, but I'm actually doing stuff. I'm doing the stuff that I want to. What do I have? Okay, here's another little thing. Oh no, attack is falling on me. Okay, another thing. How am I? My time. Oh crud, that probably cut out. I might end up having to nail another one. Okay. It's okay and important to work on other things. See that? That's really important. And this, I think I wrote in response to me not really wanting to do the no excuses art journaling. This was my excuse. There are excuses. No excuses art journaling. The excuses are working on other things, so there. And then also on this board is this. I took, one of those personality quizzes on Facebook. And this one, was something that really helped guide me in trying to, figure out what I want to do. And, see, I got it out. I got the Explorer. It says, "You're the Explorer. According to Jung, we can find this archetype in many myths and fairy tales. You're a restless nomad, always full of wanderlust. You see life as one big adventure, and you're always planning your next move. This archetype thirsts for new experiences and new people. You're independent, adaptable, ambitious, and true to yourself. Your sense of adventure is your greatest strength, but you may risk wandering." I think that's supposed to be wandering aimlessly, and you may find it difficult to choose a direction. Channel your adventurous spirit into something productive. And no, I'm not the most explorer kind of person in the actual real world, but I do like to do the crafty exploration. And I was having trouble finding what I wanted to do and where I wanted to go, and that's kind of what this last year was about. And I wanted to set up all these different things as outlets for future crafty things. And that's part of why it's called Craft Adventure Studio, because I just want to do whatever I feel like doing, and also because I love adventure games. They were a pretty big part of me, growing up. King's Quest games, Space Quest games, Legend of Zelda, the important games. And so that's just what that was. So this was the end 2015, and now for this year I'm just gonna make stuff. That is my goal. That's what I want to do most, is to make stuff. Oh, and one other thing I wanted to do last year, and I believe I made a project page for this, was to have an all ladies D&D adventure. And I am 3 weeks late to squeak it in for last year, but I did it on this last Saturday. I was DM, which means Dungeon Master, and I created an adventure for 4 of my lady friends to play along, and we met and hung out and we did it, and it was actually really hard. But I felt like if I just did it, then that would take maybe some stress and anxiety away for the future times, and I can actually see how it went, and everyone had an awesome time. And it's interesting to see how it actually plays out, because I know all of it. I know all the secrets and stuff, and I know all the backstory, and it's just neat to see how they experience the story themselves and what they see and how they react to the different encounters, and as they piece together what happened and what they need to do. It was really cool, and I really hope to do more adventures this year. I don't know when or how many or what exactly will happen, but I do want to do more because that has to do with craft adventures. It's actually crafting an adventure, and that's pretty cool. So that is going to be all. This went on a lot longer than I had planned. It wanted to be just like 10 minutes, but you know, I just have things to say, and I've said them. So I will hope to keep up the blog posts and just keep doing stuff. And it's okay for those times where your life is just being all wacky and making you feel not that great. So it's okay to take a break, because probably still doing something crafty anyways.